We talked about birth control pills stopping and starting because they're hormonal balances, but there's also thyroid issues. If you have a thyroid imbalance, that can also cause it. Another thing can be just treating your hair a little too roughly. Now, when you make cornrows in your hair or tight braids, these types of things pull on the hair follicles. Now, if you damage, what happens is the hair follicles can become inflamed. And if you damage them and cause scarring, not only will you lose your hair, but it can become permanent. So you don't want to put undue stress on your hair follicles with tight ponytails or pulling your hair back tight, cornrows, or if you've got very curly hair, combing through it excessively hard, picking it, pulling on the hair follicles can damage them. It pulls the hair out. Think of like waxing, what it does when you wax your legs and you rip the hair right out of the follicles. Well, sometimes hair follicles get damaged and you won't grow hair back from that follicle. Well, this can happen to your scalp as well. And sometimes the balding happens in between where the cornrows were because that's where you were pulling at the hair follicle. So many times, once you stop the behavior that's harming the hair follicles, you will grow the hair back again. Same as if you stop taking any kind of medication that's making your hair fall out. As soon as you stop taking medication, your hair will grow back again. The same with an illness or a stress or your diet. Once you correct your diet, your hair will grow back. Usually, it's correctable. Now, there are times, though, when you'll want to go to your doctor and find out, well, is there something going on here? If you can't find a determining factor on why your hair is falling out, then you'll want to go see your doctor. And he'll conduct a series of blood tests to see if you've got any hormonal imbalances, if your thyroid gland is acting properly. And if he cannot find any reason medically why, then you head to your dermatologist. And your dermatologist will examine your scalp and take perhaps a sampling and to see what could be going on. Do you have an infection? Is there a ringworm? Sometimes that'll cause hair to fall out, and that's treatable. I mean, the dermatologist will prescribe a cream or something for you to get rid of it. Very often hair starts thinning as you go into menopause. And then further on after menopause, something called evolutional alopecia. It's just the normal aging of the hair follicles. The growth cycle gets shorter and the hair doesn't grow for as long and you lose more hair. So just, as you get older, hair gets thinner. That's just kind of a normal evolutionary thing. And it's not with everyone. I mean, these are all hereditary things. Very often you can look to your parents to see what kind of hair they have, and that gives you an idea of what you'll have. And that leads me to pattern baldness. Now, these are some things that your dermatologist can help you decide as to whether you have pattern baldness, either male pattern baldness or female pattern baldness. Now, male pattern baldness is very common, and it starts kind of at the crown, start thinning at the crown, and then it kind of goes back towards the head and kind of leaves an open space. It starts in the back and spreads. And it's very genetic. Again, pay attention to your diet, stress levels. This all helps, but much of it is genetic, and as well as with females, or it could be hormonal genetic. I mean, if someone in your family has female pattern baldness, you're more likely to get it. And with women, it's more of an experience of hair thinning all over the head as opposed to starting in one spot. But it can be more pronounced around the crown area. So your doctor will help you determine that. And, there are treatments for that. Rogaine is a common treatment, minoxidil, where it's applied like a shampoo onto your scalp, and it extends the growth phase of the hair, and it can be very successful in many patients to grow hair back. Another disorder that your dermatologist may uncover could be alopecia areata, and that is more of a genetic thing. It strikes sometimes teenagers or people in their early 20s where you just start to lose all of your hair, but many times it's an autoimmune kind of thing and it will grow back, but you may experience loss again and then growth again. Your hair grows all back again. They're really not sure how it works, but it can be hereditary again. And your doctor will know and see what's going on with these types of things. So what can you do? Well, obviously, if you've got something that needs to be treated, a skin infection, you notice any kind of more than usual hair loss, I suggest you do go to a doctor. You don't want to wait till it gets too much. So if you're losing more than the 100 to 150 hairs a day, and you know that you've examined all of the things in your life that could have contributed to that situation, and none of those types of things suit you that we talked about, diet, nutrition, stress, high fever, illness, those are all the things that can cause you to lose hair. And if it's none of those reasons, then you'll want to see a doctor and talk about whether there's infection involved or some type of hereditary factor, and see what can be done, or thyroid, and see what the doctor can do and talk to you about. But don't wait. I mean, if you do notice that you know that there's something not right and something's wrong, seek a doctor's attention. They're very helpful with that. And for hair loss that you yourself want to prevent, keep your diet healthy with protein, iron-rich foods, foods containing biotin, which are the B vitamins, very beneficial for hair growth. Get enough rest. Try to keep the stress at a minimum in your life. I know that's not always easy. I mean, just, living can be stressful. But do things that will help you deal with the stress. Exercise, meditation, deep breathing, whatever it is you like to do. Go out for a walk on a nice day. But those are things that keep you kind of in check and keep your life in balance. And know that many times hair fall can be temporary once you remove the reason for the fall. And remember that it can be several months down the road that you will experience the hair fall. So if you've had an operation or you've had an illness or some stress, you may not see the hair fall immediately right after that situation, but it may be 3 months down the road because your hair went into the resting phase, and now it's going to be that way for 3 months before the hair falls out and the new hair comes in. So I hope this sheds some light on the hair loss situation for you, on how hair works, how hair grows. Hair grows a ½ inch a month or a little less. So you want to maximize the potential for your hair growth always by taking care of your body. Because remember, hair grows from the inside out. So a well-nourished, healthy body will produce nice, healthy hair. And don't be rough on your hair. Be careful with chemical treatments, perms, coloring. Always do an allergy test for your hair. It's worth it. I mean, many times you can suffer hair loss because you were allergic to a hair dye. I know my mom is really sensitive scalp, and she tested many times products on her arm and found that she developed a red rash, and she didn't use that product. So I do want to say that it's worth taking the test, because not everybody can tolerate different chemicals and things, and you won't know unless you first test it. Watch the heat styling, because the excessive styling can damage the hair shaft. And very often when the hair shaft gets damaged, breakage occurs, and sometimes the hair just falls out. Now that won't necessarily affect the follicle, which is where the hair grows, but you will thin out your hair by losing that hair ahead of its normal phase. So anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. Please subscribe, because I have a lot more to come. And please visit me at my blog spot, where I do a lot of writing on interesting tips that are very helpful for you. And I'm there frequently. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon. Okay, bye-bye now.